Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. What a weird thing. The threat against Brett Kavanaugh yesterday. I flew across country to apparently kill him. And then as he's going to do that, he stops and calls police on himself. Says, yeah, I'm thinking about killing myself and a Supreme Court justice. Okay, we're going to send somebody over and check you out. All right? And they did. And so he was arrested, of course, and charged with attempted murder. It's strange. What a weird... maybe he had a wave of conscience sweep over him. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But clearly he's messed up.
Got the security parked out in front of the justice's house around the clock, so that was good. They were right there. Mm-hmm. And it's also been great to see all the Democrats come out and condemn this act of violence.
Oh,
and
man,
really
make their feelings clear about how they feel about violence and death threats. Yeah,
we need to come together.
Yeah.
Calm down, y'all.
Yeah,
glad they're taking care of their own
people. Everybody like such as.
Well, you've got the Democrat.
We're talking about the Democrats.
The guy. And then there's the lady who...
But wait, you didn't say anybody yet.
So there you go. We've had lots of condemnation of this potential assassination on a Supreme Court justice.
They're despicable.
Yep.
They're just despicable people. So he flew from California to D.C. He's quite messed up. And when he was brought before the judge and he was asked if he was competent, and if he understood the charges, he said, well, it's something like, I understand enough to, I have a reasonable enough understanding, but he said, I'm not thinking clearly right now. So he's definitely messed up. But he got all pissed off about the Supreme Court decision for abortion. Mm-hmm. And they keep acting like we don't know where this violence is going to come from that we expect this summer. We don't. I mean, both sides of the aisle are, really pissed off. What? Why would conservatives be causing any trouble over a decision that we've waited for 50 years? Just doesn't make any sense. So this domestic terrorist told police he was about it was about the impending decision of overturning Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. He was armed with a black tactical chest rig and knife, a Glock 17 pistol, and 2 magazines, pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, screwdriver, nail punch, crowbar, pistol light, duct tape, hiking boots with padding on the outside of the soles, and other items. And what, you put all these in a suitcase and flew across the country with them? I can't even get 3 ounces of toothpaste on the plane. And you get all this stuff?
That's an excellent point. Did he buy that there?
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. That I don't know.
Also, this is fascinating. CNN's Whitney Wild and her report on this. She's like, everybody knew the guy had a gun from the very beginning.
Pat, this was 3 hours after we knew the man had been armed to the teeth, like you just said. And for some reason, even, check this out. On this clip that you sent in, look at the bottom of the screen. Even CNN is saying that he's armed.
Yeah. It said man with weapon. I think at one point it said man with gun. Then it said man with weapon. And in fact, he had weapons, plural. Watch Whitney Wild try to explain this away, though.
Very little detail at this point, Kate, other than to say this man is he's an adult man from California. We don't yet know what the nature of the threat was. We don't know what language the threat was, or what kind of weapon this man might
have. You don't know what language? Was he speaking Swahili? Was it Korean? I don't know. What do you mean what language it was? It was the language of love, Puddin'. He was speaking the language of love for Brett Kavanaugh. I think we all understand that.
Now, if he was out in front of Sonia Sotomayor's house Oh, she would be telling us everything about this guy's background, and it would be a much bigger story. CNN, top of the hour, they're talking about the economy. Well, I mean, that's a big deal, right? But I didn't see them talk about this yet.
And she had more to say.
Language the threat was, or what kind of weapon this man might have had, if he had one at all.
If he had one at all.
At this point is just so thin. But Kate, this certainly contributes to this overall threat landscape we've been talking a lot about. The major concern here with this abortion ruling from federal officials, and they've been sounding the alarm on this for about a month, is that Supreme Court justices will certainly be, potentially targeted by violent extremists who are angered over this pending ruling that is poised to strike down Roe v. Wade. This is an extremely passionate issue. There are emotions on both sides.
There's emotions. Pause it for a second. Listen to the language she's speaking. Wait, there are emotions on both sides. Yes, one side is very, very angry. The other side is very, very happy about it. Cautiously happy about it, but still happy about it. What are you talking about? What do you mean? We're so happy we're going to go kill somebody on the Supreme Court?
A guy who is most likely one of the people that is making it possible to overturn it. Think that through. I mean, it's just madness.
It doesn't make any sense, and they keep doing this. CNN keeps doing this, trying to act as though the violence that is pending and has already almost happened yesterday, it could come from either side. No. This is a one-way street. It is the left only. It is the psychotics on the left who want to continue the slaughter of babies. The right isn't pissed off about this. We're finally relieved over it that states can make their own decision. Let Texas decide. Oklahoma just banned abortion. Period. They just banned it. Good. I mean, that is the right thing to do.
And if the right dares to show any flash of emotion or anger, we're going to get a primetime special about that tonight.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
But this guy, I mean, this hasn't even been...
But a guy admits he's going to kill a Supreme Court justice over the decision to end Roe v. Wade, and we're supposed to believe, well, that could come from either side. Yeah. I wonder who he supports. Is that a Trump guy?
Probably. I mean, odds are, sure. Yeah. And I know we've got so many Biden clips we're going to get to later in the show, but one thing in the half hour or so that Jimmy Kimmel had Joe Biden in front of him with his breaking news of a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
Was there one question about it? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. On the death that literally the murder of a Supreme Court justice almost happened earlier that day. You've got the president of the United States in front of you. You might want to mix that question in at some point.
Which is why he shouldn't have gotten the interview. I mean, the guy hasn't done an interview on network news or networks for, I think, 118 days.
We're at 120 now.
120 days.
Yeah.
And he finally does one, and it's on That Buffoon's show.
Yeah, and there's even this opening here on there where they're talking about, the vile rhetoric and everything that's going on. Oh, my gosh. Hello, opening. You could bring that up. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we'll go through those later, obviously. Yeah. But I just wanted to point out that the press, this issue on Kavanaugh's almost murder is going to be in and out of the news cycle
quickly.
I'm monitoring CNN. I'm waiting to see this. Here we go. We finally got to it right now. 9 minutes. There we go. 9 minutes after 7 o'clock on the East Coast. We're finally going to tell you about a story regarding.
It's pretty big. I can't remember a story like this where somebody was going to kill a Supreme Court justice. When was the last time we had that happen?
I mean, that's a Tom Clancy novel opening.
I don't know if it's ever happened.
Right?
So, and then they got Whitney Wild on again, trying to explain the thing away. I'm not sure what he was doing. Some people say that there was target practice, that somebody was doing it outdoors.
Oh, wow.
Near the Supreme Court justice's home. Other people said that this person was so happy about the Supreme Court decision that he wanted to kill Kavanaugh before he changed his mind. There was a right-wing person who was so happy about the decision.
Oh, that's
he
right.
decided to kill Brett Kavanaugh before Brett had a chance to change his mind.
I see.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
and that's what it was.
That's what it was.
So then, even after the news that a Supreme Court justice was imperiled like that, the Ruth Sent Us people, this extremist abortion cult, went to Kavanaugh's house and protested in front of it.
Yeah.
Again.
Same day.
Again, the same day.
Same day. They were just out front there being peaceful,
pathetic.
of course, though. So.
Okay, and so CNN, you just mentioned it was there. It's gone now. Story's off.
Oh, wow. So,
yeah, so they spent, a full 30 seconds, I think, on it.
Yeah. It was literally about a minute.
It was no more than a minute because it started at 9. It's only 10 after now.
This is,
It's incredible.
You please, and you want us to take you seriously, CNN.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
There you go. So it's done.
So there it is.
It's out of their mind. The news cycle is over. They
couldn't care less.
The threat to. But again, if it's a liberal on the court,
oh my gosh,
this is all they've
that's
been talking
all
about
they would talk about.
For the last 11 minutes now. It would have been. Yep. And then Trump would have been. All the angry rhetoric from right-wingers would be played. Was there any angry rhetoric from left-wingers about, say, Kavanaugh specifically that we were able to find?
I don't know. Let's flash back to Chucky Schumer and his message 2 years ago for Gorsuch and Kavanaugh.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
What?
Wow.
You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
There you go. And he's at a pro-abortion rally making those comments. I think the inference is clear there what he's talking about. So there you go. Wow. But remember when Chuck Schumer, when this plays out in real life, what Chuck Schumer threatened, when the same thing Maxine Waters, when all this stuff, these clips don't even register.
Not at all.
It's like they've never heard them to begin with.
Not the least. Yeah. So here's the group Ruth Sent Us showing up in front of Kavanaugh's house yesterday, regardless of the assassination attempt.
Show must go on.
Hey, ho, ho. That's really clever. It's got to go. Hey, ho, ho.
That's good stuff.
How'd you think of that? Wow, they must have had a think tank come up with that. How would you like to be Kavanaugh's neighbors, too? And by the way, that's breaking federal law. You are not supposed to be able to intimidate judges of any kind, and especially Supreme Court judges, during the decision-making process. And that's exactly what's happening here. They're trying to intimidate Justice Kavanaugh during the decision-making process on Roe v. Wade. They're breaking federal law. And nobody's enforcing that federal law. Nobody. They just allow them to go to their house and drum and circle it and protest in front of his house. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
CNN having Whitney Wild on more to talk about the general threat of...
they're back on. They're back.
But they're not talking about Kavanaugh. They're not talking about that.
No, this is just a general threat now? Okay, security ramping up in D.C. after the warnings of the volatile June that's coming. We don't know where that violence is coming from. We just know it's coming.
Oh, my goodness. Make it stop.
It's amazing how they keep talking about the threat, and everybody knows where the threat is coming from. It's coming from the left.
Yeah, and it's at whatever the address of the Kavanaugh's home is.
Jeez. Unbelievable. Just to show you how crazy these people are, somebody tweeted out a photo of this woman. Yeah. She's terrific.
She looks good.
From Kentucky Hills. This woman, look at her T-shirt. This woman murdered more children than the Uvalde shooter, and the left is celebrating her.
There you go.
I've had 21 abortions.
Oh, gosh.
Is emblazoned on her T-shirt. Well, what a horrible person you are.
Yeah.
You've had 21 abortions? You're a mass murderer. Wow. You're a serial killer.
Yeah. I'm surprised you had 21 attempts.
Did she kill more people than Ted Bundy? Maybe. I don't remember how many Bundy killed.
Well, it's
It's around 20, I think.
Hold on a second. There were 20 kids killed at Waco by the federal government, and there were 2 pregnant women. So look at that. The federal government has the Uvalde killer beat, too.
Jeez.
They're so proud. I mean,
how do you brag about that?
Okay, it's just...
I mean, that is despicable.
And how do you have a conversation with people like that? Like, how do you...
Oh, you
there's
can't.
no starting point.
You can't. They have no morals. There's no center there. There's no grounding in a person like that. You just... So 21 times you got pregnant? You didn't figure this thing out? I don't know, a condom, birth control pills, something. Maybe a combination of a couple of things so that it doesn't happen again. Nope, she doesn't care. She'll just keep killing the children that come out or that are formed. Not a problem. All right. Wow, unbelievable. Really something else. Let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. If you're trying to sell your home, you know what a challenge that can be. We're in the midst of it right now. And so we got painters coming on Monday. So we have to leave the house for 10 days.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Are you doing eggshell white or off-white? Or...
See, that's the thing. I don't know. It just looks white to me. And my wife was, but as you can see, it's nothing like white. I'm like, oh, no, it's exactly like white. And then she said, no, look at this. The paper is white. This is not. Okay. It's like a cream color or something. But
she knows.
But this is what your realtor will help you do. That's what a realtor is helping us do, and that's what they'll help you through. And they'll see you through the whole process and hopefully sell your home quickly and for the most amount of money. And if you're buying, you want to get the most home for your money, and they'll help you do that as well. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Ray.
Meanwhile, getting on the plane to go see Jimmy Kimmel, I guess. Biden stumbling up the Airforce One stairs again. This is just a quick little
for some of the progressive
little
candidates
stumble.
and saying that states and localities should be spending the
But
money
they're watching
that
him
he
again.
has
And
allocated
oh boy.
to invest
He just
in
can't.
police departments. and
Come on,
training
man.
of police officers, and
As he
appears
would
as
say,
though,
come
the
on,
president did
man.
have a
Uh-oh. There we go. Look at this.
Nope.
Oh, hey.
No, boy. Oh,
hello. Oh.
No, boy.
Boy.
Oh. Ooh, yeah, that hurt. That last one hurt, didn't
That
it, Joe?
chin took a while to heal up on it.
That's too bad. I feel real
80-year-old.
bad about that.
Yeah.
Darn.
Stairs 2, Biden nothing.
He's a mess. He's just an absolute mess. And he was on Jimmy Kimmel last night.
Yeah. That's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hard-hitting interview, too.
Oh,
Man.
asking him some tough questions.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Good to be back, Jimmy. I thought maybe you wanted me to just stay on Fox all the time.
Just
You know,
what?
they're very
Stay on
concerned
Fox.
that I might not ask you serious questions, so I don't want
Oh,
you
they
to.
really ask serious questions.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
I don't want to upset them at all. Do you mind if I ask you some serious questions? Because this is, unfortunately,
Not at all. I never mind having a conversation with someone really smart.
well, Guillermo, maybe you need to take over.
So, yeah, there we go. That's the opening scene there.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is after he enters the studio with his mask on so everyone can see it. Jill's in a mask. The whole audience is in a stupid mask.
The audience had a mask on?
Oh, yeah, everybody. They probably made them. That was probably a requirement from the Secret Service.
Unbelievable.
Like, if you want to be in here, you got to wear a mask. Because there's going to be a lot of audience shots. And, oh, my gosh, you talk about the hype machine trying to get the fake applause going. Whoa, yeah! It was gross.
Asked about biracial couples on
This is so
TV.
weird. This is
strange stuff.
Dude, watch this. He's trying to say this next generation. What? This is insanity.
Oh, but I'm serious. You turn on the TV, look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV? When's the last time you saw
Yesterday.
the way
Yesterday.
people are selling products? They do ads to sell products.
Right.
And they sell products when they appeal to people. This generation is going to change everything. We just got to make sure we don't give up.
What's he talking about?
Nobody knows, man. Nobody knows. They were talking about the future generations. And
I
stuff.
have seen more biracial couples on TV than I have same race
Right.
couples on TV lately.
Biracial
They're
couples,
almost all biracial.
it's the norm now.
Yeah, all of a sudden now Asians are marrying blacks and blacks are marrying whites and whites are marrying Asian. I mean, it's never the same race.
Yeah, and then his little thing about, well, people got to sell. Can you just play just the beginning of that again? Talk about selling products and stuff just through that. Because now listen to it in Kamala's voice, okay?
Oh, but I'm serious. You turn on the TV, look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV? When's the last time you saw the way, I mean, people are selling products. They do ads to sell products. And they sell products when they appeal to people.
There you go. I mean,
Jeez.
He's the worst.
It's awful.
We are in hell.
Yeah, it's awful. He tried to explain what he's done so far. And here's how that
So
went.
there's a lot of major things we've done.
Okay.
But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is. Let me say it another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah, we haven't been able to communicate
But
it.
look how the press has changed.
What?
Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just
You
understand
overstand
it. You overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of asking a question,
People were laughing at him.
it just everything gets
Anyway.
sensationalized in ways that.
Wow, this
but
is
I'm
bad.
convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look.
We can
I'm
get
gonna
through
take
you.
a break,
Yes.
and then we'll talk a little bit more.
I
If you
don't
don't
blame
mind,
you.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna let your
We have
brain
some of those commercials.
relax
We have
for
some
a minute.
biracial commercials we need to show.
My gosh.
Yeah, he had to go
You
backstage.
know,
Yeah.
Kimmel is thinking, good gosh, this guy is gone.
Roll to break.
How can I help him? Instead of, hey, this is why the right doesn't like him. He's not there. This is why the right doesn't think he can be president of the United States.
I mean, there's so much there, and it's not good.
This is one of the reasons why this guy has such a low approval rating. I mean, he's realizing all of that right now, but he's not going to admit it to himself or the world.
Yeah, one thing we didn't get out of that long, drawn-out answer of nothing was an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That was the original question. Like, what have
Right.
you done?
Tell us some of the things you've done. Yeah, play that again because it not only is it bad, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, clicks on the nightly news? What? that is a regurgitation of just someone has told him something
about clicks.
Clicks, yeah. And he knows his reference, being old, is the nightly news. Anyway, this is...
Now watch for all these
So
things.
there's a lot
It's
of
amazing.
major things we've done. But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way
to his little people.
that is.
To his little people,
right.
yeah.
People just don't get
Let me
it.
say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well,
we haven't been able to communicate
But
it.
look how the press has changed. Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal.
The press hasn't changed.
One of the
They're
things
still
is
radicals.
that it's very difficult now to have
And watch Kimmel's reaction, too.
even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news. So instead of asking a question, anyway, it just everything gets sensationalized.
What
in
have
ways
you
that-
done?
But I'm convinced we can get through
Wow.
this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look.
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
I
If you
don't
don't
blame
mind,
you.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Sorry, we
trying
have
to
some
bail
of those
him.
commercials.
Trying to
We
bail
have some
him
biracial commercials.
Smart move. That way he can go backstage and get another injection.
See, the
or
thing
whatever
is,
it
Kimmel knows the show is going south. And the show's going south because Joe Biden, the president of the United States, doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, and there was
And he's
laughter.
trying to save it.
They laughed at him when he said clicks on the nightly news. There were a few chuckles in the back. Oh, okay. Clicks on the news. Huh.
Wow.
That's bad. But
That's
I
very
would like
bad.
to know, did he get injected with, did he go backstage during that commercial break to get a shot of something to wake his butt
Wouldn't
up?
surprise me. Would not surprise me. Because this is probably, 5 in the afternoon? He probably tapes at 4 or 5. By then, he's starting to run down. Yeah. So he needs I don't know what he needs a shot of. Maybe that shot in the chest that they get on Mission Impossible to revive him. What's her face got it?
Oh.
Carrie, what's her name? Yeah. And Cruz jams the needle in her chest. And gives her the shot of adrenaline.
Adrenaline shot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's adrenaline that he needs. I don't know.
By the way, I did the audience a disservice. This next clip that we've got, he starts talking about green energy. Mm-hmm. And what I should have had Nate do was actually, Kimmel is telling him, hey, what are we going to do about this leftist thing? I forgot what it was. Abortion. What are we going to do about this? Guns. All these leftist pet projects. And then Biden has no answer on any of this, okay? He doesn't respond.
How could he not?
Right. He doesn't respond to Kimmel going through this laundry list of leftist causes until he gets to green energy, which is where this clip picks up. So my point is, he literally doesn't have an answer for anything. And he's like, oh, wait, I remember my green energy talking points. And that's where this picks up.
Well, in climate change, we've actually made some real moves. I mean, we have, 1 in 7 of all the changes that have taken place in terms of solar, wind, and wind pumps. And,
pause it for a second. Wait. 1 in 7.
Pat, nobody knows. No one's cracked this code.
1 in 7 of all the changes have taken place. What?
We don't know what 1 in 7 is, and we don't know what a wind pump is.
I love it.
We don't. So
you don't know what a wind pump is?
So that's why you can see the difficulty in trying to figure out where do you start these clips.
That's the pump that pushes the wind through the wind turbines, Keith.
See, you knew this. You should run for president.
Yeah, so when you don't have wind, you got the wind pump that pumps the wind through the wind turbine, and then the turbines turn.
Do you see the difficulty in figuring out where to start video clips of Joe Biden? Because you could literally start at the beginning of the half hour and go through the whole thing.
He is on this show because he's so pissed about his approval rating. His approval rating just went below 40 on the Real Clear Politics average of all the polls. It's down to 39.7% now. He's freaked out about it because he thinks people should love him because they always have. And hey, I am relating to you people. What's the matter with you people? Why don't you love me? Look what I've done for you. And his advisors are telling him, Joe, don't go on these shows. Don't do it. It's not going to do you any good. All right? You can't have a teleprompter. You're going to be asked a bunch of questions. You might stumble through them. I don't know if there's anybody with him honest enough to say, look, you've got cognitive disabilities here. You can't go on these shows. But he insisted. I'll bet you he insisted. And Kimmel's a friendly territory. And so he wasn't going to try it with a news person. He's going to go to the easiest possible place and try to pick up some friendly points because I'm going to have a good time with Kimmel and then people will like me again.
Right. And
it didn't work out.
And when people say that his streak of not sitting down for these interviews is continuing on, he can say, I sat down with ABC.
Yeah, I was just on with Kimmel.
Well, you don't have to say Kimmel. You can say, I was with ABC.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So let's see this again.
This is bad.
Amazing.
Solar, wind, and wind pumps, and pumps and have occurred in the last 18 months. We've moved, and there's an opportunity with the process we have dealing with energy to be able to gradually move more rapidly than we have been to alternatives. For example, electric vehicles. Jimmy, when I got elected, I've pushed electric vehicles for the last, God knows how long.
Yeah. Forever. He's been Mr. Electric Vehicle. That's what everybody calls him. Either Mr. Middle Class or Middle Class Joe or Mr. Electric Vehicle.
Mr. EV.
Yeah. Play the very beginning if you can, Rob, because I love the 1 in 7 thing. I'm trying to
and the pump and the like
noodle that out.
What is it?
Well, in climate change, we've actually made some real moves.
Okay.
We have 1 in 7 of all the changes that have taken place in terms of solar, wind, and wind pumps and pumps and like.
Okay.
Pumps and like.
It's not wind pumps. It's pumps and like. That's what he meant.
I'm glad he corrected. He course corrected there and got it right. Nailed it. Pumps and like.
Because wind pumps or the pump wind thing didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But wind and like
pumps and like.
Pumps and like. That makes really good sense.
Yeah.
And the 1 in 7, there's 1 in 7 now. So
aren't you proud?
I didn't know that before. Did
aren't you proud?
Oh my gosh. I'm bursting with it. That's going to be on the Australian Sky News very, very soon. We got more.
Pat Gray.
If it's good enough for them, is it good enough for you?
Now back to Pat Gray Unleashed.
No, you look like an idiot. It's true.
All right, and some tweets here. Carl Smith tweets, may I just suggest hey ho, worn out chants have got to go? Yes, you may. You may. Buck Fiden? Huh, that's weird. It's a weird name.
No, don't pursue that.
Okay. California routinely has brownouts in the summer, so let's double the energy load with electric vehicles. Good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. I think that'll work out well.
Mm-hmm.
Smackwater Jack and Coke, some of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers have spent a year in solitary confinement. Yeah, the young man that Glenn had on yesterday has been in jail for a year, a little over a year now. He didn't. I think they're charging him with sedition, and he didn't do anything. He went into the building. I don't think he broke anything. I don't think he caused any trouble, and walked out. Sedition?
I love how you skip over the parading part.
Well, he paraded. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's so serious. I didn't want to throw that in because then it ruined my whole point. See? Yeah, there he is, right there. He's one of those guys parading.
That's very convenient how you skip over that, though.
Yeah, I know. That's the kind of right-wing kook I am, Keith. But they say, Smackwater Jack says, Jack and Coke says, some of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers have spent a year in solitary confinement, but the green hair protesters with nose rings can openly violate the law without consequences. Very true. Anthony Osh, overstand it. What Biden said to Kimmel a few minutes ago. That has to be a bingo square. From Rowdy Introvert, overstand. Verb.
Here we are.
To stand over. Formally, especially so as to guard or intimidate. To stand higher than or above. Just because it's a word doesn't mean it's the right word.
Right. Thank you.
That's very true. DMXDM, we're so smart that we can't dumb down our success enough so you morons will understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you mean overstand.
Overstand.
Not understand it.
Yeah.
So we weren't done quite yet with our Kimmel clips from Joe Biden last night. Keep in mind, he's going here to repair his likability, to repair his approval ratings, which are in the 30s with almost everybody.
Yeah. And if you take one thing away from this interview of Joe Biden with Jimmy Kimmel, it's that famous Joe Biden quote right up there with anything George Washington ever said. It's, quote, we have, 1 in 7 of all the changes that have taken place in terms of solar, wind, and wind pumps. I mean, pumps and like. Okay? Wow. Inspiring, right?
That's powerful. Okay?
Help.
And it helps explain why. There it is. It helps explain why. Because I don't know what that explains.
Nobody does.
Oh, jeez. Here he is talking about Republicans needing to go to jail.
You often get asked, look, the Republicans don't play it square. Why do you play it square?
Square?
Yeah. Well, guess what? If we do the same thing they do, our democracy would literally be in jeopardy.
Yeah, we don't have a democracy.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
I understand that argument, but also it's like you're playing Monopoly with somebody who, won't pass go and won't follow any of the rules. And how do you ever make any progress if they're not following the rules?
Well, you got to send them to jail.
What rules?
Directly to jail?
I mean, it's madness. It's a bizarre
world. What rules are Republicans breaking? What laws are Republicans breaking? Share that with us. I'd love to hear about it. If you got something on them that we don't know about, let us know. What is it?
I don't know, but democracy is in jeopardy if Democrats play the game the same way Republicans do.
Right. Good.
Oh, my gosh.
Again, because we don't have a democracy, so I don't care about that.
Right. And he was just doing the whole Monopoly, you don't pass go directly to jail. But Democrats, himself incled, absolutely believe that.
Sure they do.
I mean, if we have a clip that kind of reminds the crew here of that moment there.
Now imagine you're holding coffee. This is outrageous. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua.
Yeah.
You shout like that, they put you in jail.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
Right away.
Yep. That's
no trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists. You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses, you ride to jail.
Right to jail.
You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail.
Now that's
you
a
overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook
good.
overcook.
Well, because, it's
you
dry
make an appointment
then,
with the
right?
dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail right away.
Wow.
We have the best patients in the world because of jail.
Because of jail.
And so you take
What's that from?
that's Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Yeah. So you take what Joe Biden said in jest about go to jail, right? And you know they believe it. You take that Parks and Rec clip that just seems so ridiculous. They're making fun of Venezuela at the time, not a country by a different name on the show. But anyhow, and then you put it into the prism of tonight's little show trial.
Oh, yeah.
It's exactly what they want. All those
bet.
things. If you have an R after your name, all that stuff he talked about, you deserve jail. Seriously. It's insanity. It's, help.
If you undercook fish, go to jail.
No, that one's okay.
Yeah,
I'm good with that one.
Because you could get a stomachache.
Could be
from that.
serious, right?
Yeah. All right. So here he is talking about the mini revolution now.
It's clear that if, in fact, the decision comes down the way it does and these states impose the limitations they're talking about, it's going to cause a mini revolution. They're going to vote a lot of these folks out of office. We got to keep it focused on.
So,
if they overrule Roe v. Wade and the state, California won't do it, or other states say that you cannot do the following, and it's a law,
so
you
bad.
can't cross the border, you can't, all the things that some states have. And you got to make sure that you vote. You got to vote and let people know exactly what the devil you think.
Yeah. Okay.
I swear I heard a Woe Wee Wade. I heard a Baba Wawa in there.
Oh, his whole
Woe Wee Wade.
The whole time was slurred and messed up, and he loses his train of thought. And there's no way Jimmy Kimmel came out of that not knowing the guy's compromised. There is no way. It's going to be interesting to see what he says about Joe Biden and his support for Joe Biden. I'm guessing it's as strong as ever after this.
He won't say a thing.
Even though he knows full well there's no way he came out of that interview thinking, yeah, that guy's sharp as a tack. He's great. There's no way.
So do you have a new date as to when his presidency ends? I mean, seriously, like, where are we at now on that?
January 2025, probably.
Oh, no.
Probably January 2025. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it should be now. It should have been a long time ago, but I don't know. I don't see anybody removing him. The Republicans don't have the fight in them. Even if they get the majority in both houses coming up in November, I don't think they have the fight in them to do it.
That says more about the Republican Party than it does about Joe Biden.
Yeah,
You've got the weakest, worst president, least popular that I've ever in my lifetime, easily. And you're going to screw this up, Republican Party. You aren't taking advantage of this.
Yeah, and this should be easy pickings. It's the economy, stupid, has been the battle cry for a really long time, since at least 1990. And the economy is falling apart. Look at this chart. It's rhymed. Kind of rhymed.
Oh, that was a good job.
Economy's falling apart. Look at this chart. Huh? Yeah,
good job.
It's pretty good.
Do we have that chart?
A real household disposable income.
See? Look at that.
Okay? You start in 1990 and you go, and it's above the line usually.
Yeah, because zero is where you just kind of break even, right?
Yeah.
And you got some extra money to spend there.
It went below the line in maybe 2012 or so, went back up. Went way up.
So they got two stimulus. You got the Trump stimulus, and then you got the Biden stimulus. And then I go, oh my gosh, look at all this money I've got.
And then what happened?
Now you've got
took a nosedive.
Severe debt. We're actually at the point where credit card debt has just spiked. People, they have no more money. I mean, they're out.
So that's a real chart of of how people's finances are right now. And so when the president tells them, hey, you're doing great, and they know better because they're looking at their finances. They're seeing it and feeling it and experiencing it every day. You can't tell them you're doing great when they're not. So you can do all the Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon appearances you want. That ain't going to help you. That ain't going to help.
I have some bad news for you on a personal level that speaks to that economy situation. Mortgage demand has fallen to a 22-year low. In other words, our red-hot real estate market is now coming to a screeching halt, His mortgage demand has
every
collapsed.
time. Every time.
Yeah.
Day late and a dollar short.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm a year late in this case. Last summer, we should have sold our house.
Yeah.
And instead, we're trying to right now.
Good luck.
Yeah. Our realtor just said, hey, whatever color you pick for your house, make sure you like it because you might be staying there.
Oh, wait. Is that a general rule of thumb or is that in this market?
No, that's in this market.
Oh, no.
Because people are starting to freak out over the economy. People are starting to get scared. Like, oh, my gosh, there's going to be food shortages. There's going to be $10 gas. Can I buy a house right now? No.
Here's another little anecdote for you. My neighborhood used to have people, like, they would find out a house was on the market, and there were just people waiting out in the street to go in and look, just revolving door. No, revolving door. Probably,
you're killing me.
Probably a year or so ago.
Yeah, you're killing me.
So now, when I leave for work every morning, I see this one house near the exit of the neighborhood. I'm like, I don't ever get to see a sign this long in the yards. It's been here about a month. Sorry.
Jeez. Every time.
Sorry.
Whether it's Clear Channel stock that's offered to me or the Bitcoin thing I don't jump in on or selling my house on time, I just can't do it.
Somebody hug Pat. Somebody give him a hug.
Why? All right, let me tell you about something that you can do right now, and that's get into gold. We've got all kinds of inflation.
Yeah.
We're paying way more for the same vehicle. If you can even get a vehicle right now, there's another problem. I don't know how car salesmen are making a living right now. They've got nothing to sell. Not only, I mentioned, I think last week, didn't I talk about taking our daughter to the Honda dealership?
Yeah.
And they have no Hondas on the lot.
Right. They have 20 cars and they're all SUVs?
Yes. They had one model and it was an SUV and they had 20 of them. They used to have 1,600 on the lot. I called a place in Utah because she's back in Utah now. And I'm like, okay, can I get a Honda Civic? Oh, sure. In September, I have 2 that aren't spoken for.
No.
Wait, what? You don't have any Civics on the lot? No. Accords? No. CRVs? No. They have no cars on their lot. No new cars. I said, what about used? Nope, we don't have that either. But in September, I have 2 that aren't spoken for. You can order them now. Wow!
Did you? I would.
I did not, actually, because I'm going to look around at some other makers.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, and then you could always bail on that one later.
Yeah, I could. Yes, that's true. That is true.
Hold your place right there.
Right. But the point is, the economy sucks.
Yes, it does.
And you can't count on the dollar. If you want, something that makes a lot of sense, it's gold from Birch Gold. Hedge against the U.S. dollar and inflation by doing something, investing in something with real value. It's gold and silver from Birch Gold. Precious metals have historically been a safe haven in times of inflation, and we're definitely there. And Birch Gold is the leader in converting IRAs and 401ks into tax-sheltered IRAs backed by gold and silver. Please, just check it out. Get the information kit by texting PAT to 989-898. 989-898 to get your free info kit now.
Pat Gray.
888-933-93. 3 pro-life centers have been firebombed in the past month. Will the FBI do anything about this? Are they going to, or are we're just okay now with firebombing clinics as long as they don't perform abortions there? Yeah, go ahead and firebomb those. Those are pro-life places. I don't care about that. The FBI, the same agency that investigated hate crime allegations when the garage cord was proclaimed to be a noose. They investigated that and found it wasn't a noose, but it didn't matter because it was still a racial statement somehow. I don't know. But they won't investigate the 3 pro-life centers being firebombed?
Is that the same FBI? Maybe it's not. That orchestrated the kidnapping of Governor Whitmer in Michigan?
Yeah, it actually is. Same FBI.
I wasn't sure if that was them or not.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Thank you.
That's another good reference because you don't want to investigate the firebombings. Those don't matter.
Nope.
Was anybody killed? No. So leave it alone. Who cares? It's pretty amazing. By the way, there's a sweeping bill that has passed the House on gun legislation.
Mm-hmm. That's good. All right. Do something.
Sorry,
do something.
My computer's about to die here. Hang on 1 second. See if I can.
Well, while you work on that,
you
can just inject a little hope here. There's not a chance that what passed yesterday in the House is going to pass the Senate. That's for sure. So,
is it for sure though? Because I have my doubts.
Well, they're going to have.
But I hope you're right.
Blow up the filibuster otherwise, or
which they could.
They
could. But yesterday they passed the bill that would raise the minimum wage to purchase an assault rifle in the U.S. from 18 to 21. The bill called Protecting Our Kids Act.
There it is.
Would also bar the sale of large capacity magazines and institute new rules that dictate proper at-home gun storage.
Get out of my face in my house.
Yeah.
Seriously, get out my house. You're not.
How are they going to enforce that? I would like to know. Package is a collection of several pieces of legislation designed to limit access to guns and other firearm equipment in the wake of the shootings, of course. Another component of the legislation, called the Untraceable Firearms Act, would bolster regulations around so-called ghost guns.
Okay. So there's a video of a guy who made a rocket launcher out of a 3D printer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's right up my son's alley. He's 16, and I sent that to him. And he responded with, okay, so now they're going to ban 3D printers. Yeah, don't joke. They absolutely will.
No joke.
No joke. That would be the next step for this reactionary government.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got no problem doing any of that. No problem at all.
I'm sure the criminals will go, oh crap, there's a law. Oh, do we have that meme of the two gang members, Rob?
Oh yeah,
Can we
throw
that up there?
That's
this is the one I referenced this the other day. Perfect Fit AR.
One gangbanger says to the other, "You coming on the drive-by tonight?" The other gangbanger, can't. Still waiting on my gun permit.
Oh shoot, bro, that sucks.
There's a conversation that happens almost every night in this country.
Yeah,
you know that for a fact.
Can't do the drive-by.
Nah,
haven't passed the background check yet. Shoot.
888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
I am a right-wing kook. You got it.
Yeah. Keith is a right. We'll tell you why in a minute here. Right-wing kook. Yeah. Jeez.
Sorry.
Never thought I'd see the day
really?
where I'd be working with one of those.
You didn't see that coming?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought I'd be a prime candidate for
Uh-uh.
that designation.
I love me some Tommy John. I got to tell you about that right now because the best gift for your dad is one he'd love but wouldn't get for himself. Unbelievably comfortable Tommy John underwear and loungewear. Do not forget. Don't sleep on the. Yeah, that works out pretty well. Don't sleep on the loungewear. Although sleep in it. Dad taught you to be a man, but he never, or woman, hopefully, but he never figured out how to buy underwear that takes care of his boys.
That would be an interesting conversation.
I don't
know about that one.
That's why he needs the gift of Tommy John underwear. From scraped knees to heartbreaks, driving lessons to the driving range, Dad was there to support you. This Father's Day, return the favor with a gift of Tommy John underwear. I love this stuff. It's so comfortable. It's soft, and you're going to love it. Again, it's the first thing I do when I get home every day is get into my Tommy John loungewear. It's fantastic. Tommy John underwear is listed on Kevin Hart's 10 Essentials in GQ with over 96% 4-star plus reviews and over 17 million pairs sold. You got to try a pair for yourself. You're seriously going to love it. Tommy John knows that you're the most confident when you're the most comfortable. Hey, TommyJohn.com. TommyJohn.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. Another bizarre story involving the Clinton family. They're the gift that keeps on giving.
They're still around, huh?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Good.
So the family of former Clinton advisor Mark Middleton has blocked the release of files relating to his suicide. Well, another close Clinton advisor has died from suicide. Mark Middleton was 59 years old. He died on May 7th. But how did he die of suicide? That is the interesting sort of situation here. He hung himself and shot himself in the chest with a shotgun.
No, you got to pick either or.
Yeah, you would think on a suicide,
bro,
you're gonna shoot yourself in the chest and that's it. No, he shot himself in the chest and then he hung himself. Or he hung himself and while he was hanging himself, he shot himself in the chest.
Okay. That's interesting.
Isn't it? Because it kind of seems unlikely.
I mean, maybe you're just good with timing.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
he just wanted to really make sure he got the job done.
Maybe you just kicked that chair out from under you or whatever just as you're shooting yourself. Seriously, I mean, what do they want us to believe?
What is this?
They're insane.
It's like the joke I used to say all the time about Vince Foster, who shot himself in the head 3 times and then dragged himself across the street into the park. I mean, that's almost what's happened here.
And through his glasses.
It's that unlikely. What is this now?
I'm trying
1,043? How many people have the Clintons killed?
And that's a conservative estimate, I know. I'm trying to find out what that list is because there used to be a list that was
a good list,
easy to find on the old internets. But looks like the old internets have gotten a reworking here. But it was dozens that were some sort of weird circumstance.
It was very close to, I think it was 46 for a while, then it was 50, then it was 52. Somebody put out a list with like 406.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Which, I don't know. I think it's somewhere in between.
Let's see. Well, this is an old list, 34 names.
34.
Yeah, that's old though.
Wow.
But now were there 2 people guarding the tree? That maybe they were busy surfing the internet or something, and maybe the camera that was focused on the tree went out mysteriously, or is that somebody else?
Is this like an Epstein thing? You're trying to make this into an Epstein thing?
Oh shoot!
Oh wow, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. Why?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. A bridge too far when I call into question the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein.
Where in that jail, nobody had been able to commit suicide in 46 years. But he was able to because a bunch of coincidences happened all at the same time. Well, the video went out, of course. The guards fell asleep.
Yeah.
Well, so nobody checked on him.
Well, and when they weren't sleeping, they were looking up hot deals on washers and dryers or something like that.
It was something like that. There was a white sale going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But coincidence?
Just
sure.
Nothing connected to this government is clean.
No, but
period.
But the Clintons are an unusual case.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, they're the top of the hill there.
I mean, say what you will about the conspiracy theory that they've offed a bunch of former advisors and friends and whatever, people who have known. But, I mean, we've got some pretty weird things to look at, like the Ron Brown death.
Oh, gosh.
And the funeral where Clinton's walking with the reporter and he's laughing and carrying on. And then he sees he's being filmed and he starts crying immediately. Flip the switch.
Yep. Remember what Ron Brown was working on at the time too.
Wasn't it the Whitewater deal?
No, that was, Ron Brown was the if I remember correctly,
DNC chairman.
It was
for a while.
It was the Chinese.
Was it the Chinese
switching
thing?
The time flies, man.
Well, that's been.
Yeah, that was the technology that China. I'm pretty sure because they had to move the oversight. And if I'm getting this wrong, my apologies. If this isn't the Ron Brown one, but they had to change the oversight from the Department of Defense to the Commerce Department, I think. So that technology that the Chinese then co-opted to use for their spy planes or satellites, something like that. Anyway, he knew. If that's what I'm going to look this up right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so
maybe we should do a special on that. Maybe do an overtime thing and devote some intensive study to it. Meanwhile, we haven't updated you on the war in Ukraine lately. Apparently, Russia's making some headway there in the east. But a second Russian general is reportedly dead after heavy fighting in the Donbass region just over this last weekend, bringing the total of Russian generals killed in Ukraine to 14. 14! I don't know if a general has ever been killed. A U.S. general in action. Have they? Well, okay, Custer. General Custer was killed in action. Have any other generals been killed in action? I can't even think of that happening. And they've had it 14 times. Wow. They were in an armored column that was ambushed by Ukrainian forces, possibly on a bridge somewhere in the Donbass region. So that's absolutely incredible. I don't know. I guess they're not getting the information probably, but the Russian people, are they going to be able to deal with this for long term? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know Putin is mad with China now because he's not getting enough support.
Oh, boy.
And so he's starting to lash out at them. So that's interesting to see that crack. And then, of course,
the troops are pissed because they're getting soggy toilet paper delivered to them.
Nice. I love this story. I just do.
Vladimir Putin's forces are in such shambles that they're being forced to use soggy toilet paper on the battlefield. In a bizarre development that comes more than 100 days since Russia first invaded on February 24th, Putin's troops are starting to complain about the lack of equipment provided to them, while the soldiers are also fully expected to successfully take their neighboring resisting nation, of course. Mm-hmm. Or they're in trouble with that, too. Putin doesn't put up with this stuff. The toilet paper, having traveled half the way under pouring rain in trucks with leaky roofs, toilet paper's been fully soaked.
Oh, here's your toilet paper, boys. Have fun. Oh.
Wet rolls of toilet paper may not seem like a big deal when you're embedded in a combat zone. The smallest things can take on the greatest importance, though. Although the Institute for the Study of War, which is based in the U.S., admitted that this particular transcript could not properly be identified, the Institute also added that the claims of soaked toilet paper and the overall lack of equipment with the Russian forces are consistent with other reports.
Man, that's gross. That's rough, man.
It is. Yeah, it is. Plus, that death toll continues to be, I mean, it's not carved in stone, but even neutral sources are saying it's over 20,000 Russian troops.
Wow.
It's not amazing.
Wow, yeah.
20,000.
And, you've got the U.S. and the U.K. who are, let's embarrass Putin. Let's run this thing into the ground. Let's destroy Russia as an entity on the world stage once and for all. And your tax dollars are constantly going over there to fund this war machine. And meanwhile, you've got Europe, like France and Italy and Germany, are like
begging not to embarrass them.
Can we just kind of give them a little something and have them go away?
Let's just have them keep what they have now and stop fighting. And Zelensky's like, no, we're taking back every inch of our country. They will not have any of it.
See, I'm on his side as far as take back what is yours.
Yeah,
but I'm also on the side of America, and it's not our fight. Mm-hmm. So let's stop draining money that we don't have. I don't know if you've seen, but we've been printing a lot of money in this country, and the effects on our economy are not good. Maybe we could stop doing that, especially when we're sending that money over to fight another war that doesn't involve us.
Keith, if I may say.
You may.
Look. The economy has never been better, historically speaking.
Okay.
I mean, this is the strongest, largest recovery in U.S. history. I don't know what you're whining about over there. What will it take to please you? What, less than 10% inflation? Less than, I mean, does gasoline have to be free in order for you to be happy about things?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm hard to please.
In Texas, is it $10 a gallon? Okay. Is gasoline $10 a gallon? No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
No, it isn't.
What's the national average now? $4.97.
$4.97.
Getting dangerously close to that $5 average mark. Of course, many parts of the country already well above that. I saw a thing where, when we boycotted Russian oil, we were giving up 670,000 barrels a day. 670. Yeah.
Okay.
The Keystone Pipeline would have given us 830 100,000 barrels a day. But why would you need that?
That seems like it's more.
Could have replaced that. But
you could have more than replaced it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, what they did was replace it with the emergency reserve, which really got us nowhere. Didn't lower the cost. It didn't help, and what it did was hurt any potential future need for the energy there from the reserve, because we've already blown it.
Okay, well then you kind of go and try to make up with your old buddies Venezuela
right.
and go down and get. Oh no, that's right. That oil didn't go to America. That went to a company that actually shipped that somewhere else completely. Okay,
well we could go to crawling to the Saudis again.
The Saudis.
We could do that.
They're good.
You know, because they're really wonderful friends.
Right.
They've been there for us through thick and thin.
Sure.
You know, so we got that option.
I swear.
Unbelievable.
You say it, and it is so true.
I know.
What would you do differently? You were trying to destroy this country.
You're not really as smart as I thought you were.
Not as smart as I thought you were. Yeah.
Right now, court packing is one of the biggest dangers we face. Make no mistake, court packing, that's tantamount to a coup. The radical left is working overtime on new plans to pack the Supreme Court. They want nothing more than to add another 4 liberal justices so they can nullify anything the conservatives do. It'd be catastrophic for the court, for our country, for our way of life. We can't let it happen. That's why we need you to join us. We're gathering a coalition of 1 million patriots to say no to court packing, no to the liberal agenda, no to the Supreme Court coup. Franklin Graham is involved in this, General Ed Meese, Dr. James Dobson, the Family Policy Alignment, the Heritage Foundation are all on board, along with 400,000 people like you. So please sign your name to this now. Go to Supreme Court Coup. It's actually just Supreme Coup. That's COUP.com. SupremeCoop.com to sign First Liberty's letter. That's SupremeCoop.com.
This is Pat Gray. Pat Gray Unleashed.
Fox is not carrying the show trial tonight, which is, I think, really good judgment on their part. Good. Of course, they're getting all kinds of flack. How dare you not? Yeah, I know. Every single network must cover it, because otherwise, how are you going to find the thing? How are you going to find it?
Yeah, the media's...
It's only on 18 different channels, Keith. How are you going to find it?
They're not talking about it much at all.
No.
Like CNN, MSNBC.
I don't hear a word about it.
Well, I'm surprised. You know what? I'm genuinely surprised that I haven't seen like a countdown on CNN.
I know.
This morning saying, how many hours till
January
6th on trial.
Because it's actually produced by an ABC producer, a former ABC producer, is producing this trial, this committee. Unbelievable. We've of course never seen anything like this either. So many of those. We make that statement about once a day now because it's that bad. We're seeing unprecedented decline here. But speaking of Fox, the ratings for this week are out. And this is kind of interesting. The 5 was number 1 on Fox, 3.345 million. 3,345,000 people. Second was Tucker at 3 million. Then Waters, 2.5 million. Bear. Hannity was only 5th. Then you got Gutfeld, Ingram, and Cavuto, which is interesting because after Bill O'Reilly left, Bill was number 1 for, 20 years straight or something. I think he made some kind of record for being number 1 the longest. After he left, Hannity was number 1 for a long time. Then Tucker overtook him. And now the 5 has overtaken Tucker? And Hannity's only 5th on Fox now. Interesting. What in the world is going on? CNN's Harry Enton has a pretty great prediction for the Republicans in November. He predicts Republicans will walk away from the November midterms with a huge majority in the U.S. House, and argued that the party is in its best midterm position in more than 80 years. Shh. Don't tell them, though.
Right?
They will screw it up for sure. Shh. Man. The network's senior data reporter told Jake Tapper Tapper asked him, if you're a Republican running for re-election or trying to unseat a Democrat, things are looking pretty good, right? And he said, I would say they're looking very good from the historical context. Basically, I took the best Republican positions on the generic congressional ballot at this point in midterm cycles since 1938. That generic ballot basically is, would you vote for the generic Republican or generic Democrat in your district? And in 1938, Republicans had a 2-point lead. They now hold a 2-point lead once again. In 2010, they only held a 1-point lead. And look what happened then.
1938, huh?
Yeah.
But in 1940, FDR, Democrat, got reelected.
Right.
So I don't care for that.
No, I don't care for that either.
Why don't you take that historical data?
Yeah, why did you have to bring that up?
Sorry.
Jeez.
We weren't even at war yet.
That was ill-advised, Keith.
So you can't say, well, they wanted to keep the same horse in war. That was the 44 campaign.
Yeah.
So now I don't know. But yay, here's to hope.
Yay!
Did they have Dominion computers or mail-in ballots or anything like that?
In 1938?
Yeah.
Pretty sure not, no.
Yeah, see, so I don't believe anything that I read today because I think that we have other elements that we need to factor in.
I just want the victory to be so big that it can't be messed up with fraud.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
That has to happen.
I just had a story. I don't know where I'd put it, but this guy in Pennsylvania.
The Democrat?
The Pennsylvania guy?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a weird story. The guy was incredibly dirty back in 1980.
Yeah.
He's a disgraced former Democratic congressman. It's Michael Ozzie Myers.
Yeah.
He pled guilty to ballot stuffing. Huh. What?
And that was a Republican who did that?
I thought that was crazy. No, he's a Democrat.
He's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Who did the ballot stuff.
Yeah. Now, this is a guy who, in 1980, was expelled from the House of Representatives, the only member of Congress to be expelled in the 20th century. He was caught in a bribery scandal. He was later convicted of bribery and conspiracy, sentenced to 3 years in prison. Well, the Justice Department just announced he's now 79 years old, and he pleaded to conspiracy to deprive voters of civil rights, bribery, obstruction of justice, falsification of voting records, and conspiracy to illegally vote in a federal election. I won't hear of it. Only Republicans do this stuff.
Yeah.
And when Republicans say the Democrats are doing it, that's a conspiracy theory. So this guy orchestrated schemes to fraudulently stuff the ballot boxes for specific Democrats in the 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and yes, 2018 Pennsylvania elections. And so they finally got him, and he pled guilty. 79 years old. Wow. So, yeah, we're hoping we can overcome whatever corruption there's going to be. What was it Biden said about the corruption? They put together the biggest fraud group in the history of America.
It's going to be the biggest fraud. Yeah. He got one thing right. He got something right. A campaign promise that came true.
Yes.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive. And inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Congratulations.
All right.
Congratulations, Joe.
Good to see you.
It's quite an accomplishment.
Promise come true.
The only one, but that one did. So that's
that
great.
One hurts too.
He has promised to cure cancer, and it looks like somebody might be on the verge of that. The other day I said, we were talking about this cancer trial, that was pretty small. The first article said it was 12 people who had been cured of cancer.
Out of
12.
That's amazing, right?
So it's
you're
unprecedented.
Gonna burst our bubble now, aren't you? You got an update?
Yeah, I got an update.
Okay.
It was actually 18 people.
Out of
18.
That is incredible. I'm so hopeful.
Every single person went into remission, didn't have a trace of cancer in their body afterward. They went through no surgery. They didn't have chemotherapy. Just this new GlaxoSmithKline pill. And they took that. It didn't say in either article that I've read how long they took it. Mm-hmm. But every one of them experienced remission after it.
I mean, this is demonstrating a much better rate than the COVID vaccine.
Oh my gosh.
And they rushed that thing through. And I'm not being facetious when I say I want these things available to doctors next week.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is something I wouldn't mind paying billions to support. This is a worthy cause. Think of the hundreds of thousands of people a year that would be saved and the suffering that could be ended. Incredible. Just an incredible story.
Boy, that's good news.
Yeah. Got more good news. Monkeypox can be airborne as well as through contact. So you might be getting, it might be more likely that you get monkeypox than you thought. So congratulations. We'll tell you how to prevent that, though.
Yeah. Don't read news releases from the government.
We'll do that next.
Pat Gray returns.
Yeah. Great to have you with us. Welcome. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Monkeypox can be airborne now, but there's, of course, a cure. And that's put your mask back on. It's so simple. It's so easy. Just go out and buy another big fat box of the worthless masks and jam them over your face. That's all. You know what? Nail it to your head. Let's just make this a permanent arrangement. Just nail the mask to your head. That way you never forget it. You always have it. You'll be safe and protected.
Don't give them ideas.
Look at that. We can never get enough of this video because the cleanliness is just so impressive in this mask factory.
I mean, that when I think of the word sanitized.
Yeah, hygiene, good hygiene practice. You think of people's feet all over the masks, which are laying around in piles on the floor. That's perfect.
But that'll save you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, no, but in fact, it makes it worse.
Yeah, but do you have like studies that say that?
Yes. Yes. Recently, there have been, I think, 3. There was one in Europe, and I think there have been 2 here that said, it's worse in the areas that had the mandates than it was otherwise.
And
it makes you sicker because all the crap gets trapped in there, and you're breathing it all day.
Yep. Yeah. So, the high concentration of the droplets. So when you had the COVID and it was in the mask, then it was more like supercharged when you'd breathe it back in.
Right.
Because now it's like, we're ready to infect you. And they've also shown that in areas where the masks and lockdowns and all that stuff was happening, that now kids are suffering from other infections and stuff because their bodies weren't going through the normal.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get herd immunity as quick as other places that didn't do the lockdowns. And now the lack of exposure and the overexposure to hand sanitizer and all that stuff.
Okay.
That now kids are suffering from other ailments because they weren't out mingling with people like their bodies should have been. That's fun. I mean,
it's great. Things are going well.
It's everything we said was going to happen 2 years ago.
And the CDC has updated its guidance for travelers wishing to protect themselves against monkeypox. Right. Because here's the thing. Okay. 21 people have it in the United States. There's almost no getting away from them. There's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can hide from the 21 people who have monkeypox.
They could be at the store today.
They could.
When you go to get groceries.
There's no way to tell. Well, other than the open weeping sores all over their body. So when you see that, maybe just avoid that person. But it won't help because now it's in the air as well. So there you go.
I mean, the odds are there. I mean, you could run into them. Be careful. 21 people running through the countryside.
Nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
You're just going to get it. So you might as well accept it. So the CDC, late Monday night, deleted a recommendation that you wear a mask because of the monkeypox thing.
Yeah, so they say.
Because I bet they got a lot of flack for that.
Yeah.
The turnabout hints at a little discussed aspect of the current monkeypox outbreak. The virus can be airborne, at least over short distances, while airborne transmission is only a small factor in the spread. Because it mostly spreads through, intimate contact, sex, hugging, that kind of thing.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out the government on this one. So they say you got to wear your masks, and it looked like they were trying to make a justification for their court case, trying to get it back on planes, right?
Okay, yeah.
Then they delete that recommendation. Then the New York Times says, yeah, but you said it's airborne.
Yeah.
So don't forget you said it's airborne, CDC. So this is an interesting development here. I'd like to see where this ends up. But
yeah, we'll see.
New York Times trying to continue to sensationalize the mask stuff.
Meanwhile, the man who wants to be the next governor of Texas, Beto, thinks that the Texas border with Mexico is just fine.
Sure.
It's pretty good right now. No, it's pretty great.
Pretty great?
Right now.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Yeah.
And we all agree that we want the border to be better. In fact, I think the border is pretty great right now.
Wait,
what crack is he on?
I'm just dumbfounded. What do you say to that?
Oh, the border's pretty great right now.
It's pretty great right now. Huh. All right. You mean where 240,000 people just sneaked across it in the last month or whatever it was?
Well, it's not. Well, that everybody that wants to be here is already here, right? I mean, it feels that way.
It does feel
No one
that
else
way.
is coming, right? Nobody's
I mean,
on
there's
their
a few people that are still coming.
Oh, are
New
there?
York Post had them on the cover of the paper. Let us in, Joe.
Yeah.
Massive caravan on the way to the border, and here is a look at the massive caravan that's on the way to the border. And nope, it wasn't that.
That's not as catchy as I remember.
No, it was catchier when it was like this. People, as far as the eye can see.
Yeah. About 5,000 and probably getting bigger as it heads north. And look at all those women and children coming up here. Just look at them. That's all you see in that picture.
It's almost all babies.
It's all babies. Like just
babies
crawling.
and toddlers. The babies are crawling. The toddlers are, just kind of toddling.
How many strollers do you see in that picture? I can't even count them.
I can't count them. There's too many.
And by the way, if you're listening,
every one of them that you can see
is a young man.
Is a young man.
Every one of them.
Jeez.
I can't
that is
help.
But we hate children, I guess. And we're xenophobes and whatever.
Oh, leave that up for a second. Oh, yeah, so friendly looking too. Nice job, Rob. Look at that New York Post. I just noticed this. They got the American flag and the Ukrainian flag. So we're still doing that? Because I went by a car dealership yesterday that had been flying the Ukrainian flag, and I noticed that it's now gone. So it's like you need to update your cult settings. Apparently, we've moved on from Ukraine, and the New York Post hasn't received the memo.
They need to. Yeah, they need to. Then we have another meme here that illustrates the gun control debate perfectly. More laws and infringements on our Second Amendment rights will not solve anything. So we got the bump stock ban.
Okay.
The assault weapon ban, the high cap magazine ban, the permits for concealed carry, the background checks, the NFA, the gun-free zones. And then right in the middle of all of that, the criminals.
walking
through all of it.
Cement. That's, there it is right there. Perfectly stated.
Yeah. Sad, but true. It's about where we are right now.
But if you live in a place where maybe you can't get your hand on a gun for self-defense, or maybe you just you can't afford it, whatever. There is a solution, Pat, and I think you're really gonna like this solution. This video comes from I'm not sure where. I just know that a carjacking is about to happen until the driver pushes a button inside his car that triggers a speaker, and it makes it sound like there's a gun present.
All right.
This. Okay. Oh no, here comes trouble. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Look at these guys running.
They don't even try to get back in the car.
Watch this. Oh, it gets better. Watch this camera angle. Whoa. Whoops, I'm going this way. Yeah, me too. That's awesome.
That's great.
It's incredible. There was no gun. It was just...
Where was that? Do we know?
I don't know.
Where that
it
happened?
Looked like Central America from this vantage point.
That's not a bad idea. The Glock horn.
Yeah.
They're calling it.
That's good.
Apparently prevented a carjacking there. That's kind of cool. Liberal actor George Takei tried to mock gun owners over the weekend, but a lot of people on social media noted that what he was really doing was making the case in support of AR-15s instead. He tweeted this out. George, you know who George Takei is, right? From Star Trek. Yeah. He played Sulu.
Yep.
He said, "Crazy thought, but those 20 million AR-15s now in this country could sure arm a lot of Ukrainians.
What?
Yeah, dude, that's the point.
Uh-huh.
It's already armed a lot of citizens in this country so that if anything like Ukraine happens, we're already set. You moron. That's what it's all about, actually. These people just, they don't get it.
No.
They don't get it. It's really hard. And that's why it's so hard to coexist with them because, they just won't understand what the deal is.
So he's basically suggesting that he trusts Ukrainians with...
but not Americans.
Right. Why would you trust us?
Why would you? Let me tell you about iTarget Pro. In Joe Biden's America, criminals are exalted, police are condemned. Sad to say, but you need to be prepared and properly trained to defend yourself and your family. You need to do that. Because even if the police, haven't been touched with cutbacks in your area, it still takes them, an average of 7 minutes or so to get to your house? A lot can happen in 7 minutes when somebody's breaking into your house. Thankfully, there's iTarget Pro. This revolutionary system allows you to dry fire practice with your actual firearm when you want to, right in your house, with your kids. Completely safe because instead of a bullet in the chamber, there's a laser bullet. It shows you where your shots land on the target. So great. It's fun, high-tech, really cool, and you're going to love it. Plus, it just helps you become more accurate with your firearm. No more inconvenient trips to the range. And you don't have to worry about inflation that's pricing ammo out of your range, if you can even find it. So what you do is download iTarget's proprietary app, load the laser bullet into your firearm, and start your training experience. Comes in all the major calibers, including .223, so you can stay sharp with your AR-15, too. Go to itargetpro.com right now. Save 10%, plus get free shipping when you use the offer code PAT. Great Father's Day gift idea. Less expensive than a few hours at the range, too. It's the letter I, then targetpro.com, itargetpro.com, offer code PAT.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Who's excited about the big show tonight? You think you'll even be able to watch?
Let's see. Are the Braves playing? The world champion Atlanta Braves are playing tonight. So no, I will not be watching this garbage event.
Wow.
Known as the January 6th Commission trial, show trial.
You're just an irresponsible, uncaring, xenophobic right-wing kook.
Who supports the overthrow of our government.
Right.
Obviously.
Right. On the day, democracy almost died. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun tonight. No, I'll check it out.
It's going to be so bad.
My job requires it. And so...
But they say they're going to show us footage that's never been seen
before.
Convince
me. Show me that the government was almost overthrown.
Let's see that.
Okay.
AOC said it herself. They almost ended democracy. They were all scared out of their minds. She was even scared, being removed from the situation. She wasn't even there. Yeah. So that's how scared she was.
She was in another building, fearing for her life, because there wasn't nobody
in it. It was just too quiet. You know what I mean? It seemed almost too safe.
Right. Anybody that's raised kids, which I know you have, that actually is a tip-off. Something's going on.
And somebody actually asked her if she was okay, which scared the hell out of her.
Right.
How dare you ask a single woman if I'm okay?
Just gut check.
Yeah, stop. Okay?
Now, if she responded with, I'm fine, well, then you know. Something was up.
Right.
Crap.
Because there's no way she's fine. She's completely out of her mind. The New Zealand Prime Minister has launched a violent extremism research center.
This is terrifying, and it's a beginning trend around the world.
It's going to be headed by two far-left academics.
Yeah.
And it will be used to identify critics of mass immigration, multiculturalism, and political correctness as violent extremists.
Oh, that doesn't sound troubling at all.
No.
But it's recommendation 14 for which we are here today. To establish a program to fund independent New Zealand-specific research on the causes of and measures to prevent violent extremism and terrorism. But we've taken that recommendation a bit further. We wanted a permanent presence, a repository of sorts to ensure the work is embedded in our conversation and our policy making.
Okay.
Together, you will lead the charge to bring together research organisations, civil society and government. Hosting, for instance, an annual hui on countering terrorism.
She just doesn't talk right. How did you elect this person to head your government? She just doesn't talk right. I'm sorry.
Doesn't know how to speak.
It's English, I guess, but you almost need subtitles here.
Yeah, but she does get more words per minute than Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's true.
Gets more of those out, that's
very
for sure.
true. Let's see what else she had to say.
Extremism. To help us to understand the New Zealand context with research on pathways to radicalisation, factors that drive violent extremism and what can reduce it, the role of language, disinformation,
They've already disarmed
and
the
social
people, don't
media
forget.
networks to influence individuals and communities.
What more are they
Gender
going to do?
differences and radicalisation,
Well, now we're
and
gonna
utilising online platforms
monitor
for
you
prevention
online.
and disengagement opportunities.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's chilling. Yeah, and especially when you consider, they've already done their gun control, their gun ban. They've banned guns, right?
Yep.
You can't own one in New Zealand.
Now, if you are a critic to, what was it, mass immigration, what was the other good stuff?
Let me see if
you are a radical, and you are now a threat to the New Zealand government if you don't support...
Well, if you're a critic...
if you're a critic...
of mass immigration, multiculturalism, and political correctness, then you're a violent extremist.
Wow, so that would be... I would not fit in well in New Zealand.
I don't think so. No.
Okay,
We've
but that's
already
way over
established
there.
You're a right-wing kook.
The
We've
right-wing
established that today.
Yeah. So that's way over there, though. That doesn't really affect us. There's nothing like that happening closer to home, is it?
Well, let's see. Here's Governor Hochul of New York the other day. She's not worried about threats, just hate.
And in the state of New York, we're now requiring social media networks to monitor and report hateful conduct on their platforms. Thank you, Senator Anna Kaplan, and thank you, Assigned Member Patricia Fahey.
All right. Love those two.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to... I think I screwed that up.
Yeah, suffering's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
hate leads to anger.
Yeah, there it is.
Anger leads to fear. Fear leads to suffering. Yes.
Feels like one's missing.
I think,
I feel like we missed a word.
Go to the source if we could. No, that's not it.
Fear leads to anger.
Fear.
Anger leads to...
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Right?
Hate.
Yeah.
Fear leads to anger.
Okay.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
I'm glad we could brush up on the Yoda speak.
Me too.
That's good stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially that's what she's saying. And I agree with it because it came from Star Wars. So
So you will be monitored.
So what is she getting? She's going to monitor us?
Yeah. If you're in New York.
Good.
Remember, they're not.
Good.
Not. She's not saying we're going to look for people like the Uvalde shooter who make threats online and overtly are saying they're going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to monitor hate speech. So if you're saying something we disagree with, that's what we're monitoring.
Yeah.
That's
That's because
Fear leads to anger.
anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
You got to trying to find that sweet spot there.
So you start with
between-
anger, right?
Yeah. So she's saying, hey, if we can catch them in anger,
Fear, hate,
then we'll get
suffering.
stop them from getting to fear and hate and suffering,
Right.
And whatnot.
Okay. All right.
It's
and that way
terrifying.
we don't have to kill all the Jedis. Right?
I'm sure that's what she's
We
saying.
headed off at the pass. That's what she's trying to avoid is the big purge of Jedis. And so good for her. I tell you, this right-wing thing that they're trying to jam down our throats, that it's the right who is violent, that's almost never the case. Almost never the case. And they claim it almost always is.
Are you a January 6th denier? Is that what I'm hearing? Because that's what it feels like.
Am I denying that it was the day democracy almost died? Yes. Yes, I am denying that.
Wow.
Because first of all, we don't have a democracy.
Wow.
Secondly, the republic didn't almost die on that. Let's say they accomplished their goal, which was, I don't know what. Was it to hang Mike Pence? Is that their goal? Was it to slap Nancy Pelosi across the face? I don't know. But what if they had accomplished that? Would that have killed our republic? No. Would everything happen just as it was supposed to anyway? Yes.
But you're saying that video we're showing right now, you're saying you can look at that and not feel threatened.
Actually, yes. Yeah, I can. I can say that.
I mean, there's a lot of pictures being taken in that shot.
I know.
And that's not without consent, right? This guy's just holding up his camera.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of people coming in.
Yeah.
Actually, that guy's fed. I think that guy is fed.
Which way?
I've never noticed that. This guy is fed. Okay, he's taking pictures of people coming in. He's got the mask on. Ain't no MAGA person wearing a mask in there. This guy's on the far left of the screen right now, and he's taking pictures of everybody coming in the door. I've just now noticed that after watching this thing 4,872 times, this guy is taking it's evidence. Look at all these people coming in.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing, wearing a mask.
And you know how many people were arrested so far? How many people have been arrested? Anybody have that number? Over 800. Over 800 people. There's no way 800 people were bashing police officers over the head or spraying bear spray in their face or whatever they're accused of doing. Breaking windows. I don't know. Jeez.
Yeah, and remember that couple. They went to Alaska and they broke into that couple's home and they were the wrong people. They've gone after so many people that were innocent and had nothing to do with that January 6th nonsense. Gosh, I'm looking here. I ran across this video this morning. Shoot. Anyhow, there's video of people dressed like Antifa just outside the Capitol, changing into MAGA clothes. I'm sure that'll be a part of the January 6th thing. I'll find that. And even I was going to
Oh, yeah, that'll be featured right off the bat, just to make sure everybody who's tuning in sees it right away.
We got to make sure that we know who we're dealing with here.
That's incredible.
So if I was just going to hold this up real quick if I could find it again. But anyway, we'll have it for tomorrow's show. But, I mean, there you go. Hey, here we go. Perfect. Let's see here. There they are. If you can see, they're in all black right there, and they're changing into MAGA clothes there before they go into the Capitol. Antifa types.
Isn't that interesting?
But
that interesting? But it was all MAGA people, all right-wing kooks who love Donald Trump, and tried desperately to stop the transition of power there. They deserve everything they get.
The left has so many more questions to answer about the election of 2020 than the right ever will. In the events between early November and January 20th.
They have some answering to do on this January 6th thing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, how many instigators were there from the other side? I don't know, but we should definitely look into it because there were some.
I'm sure it'll come out tonight on the show trial.
Oh, right.
Tune in to CNN tonight.
So we'll see what happens when we, that'll be good.
Bottom of this.
That'll be great. Coming up on Overtime, what is going on with the government agencies buying military equipment and weaponry? You know, we mentioned this briefly the other day because I don't know, who was it that brought it up? Like a journalist, I think, of some kind brought it up. The agencies that are actually arming themselves with heavy artillery. We'll tell you about it coming up, and then perhaps speculate on what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
It'll be on Overtime, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.